How cute is this turkey? I saw a picture online of a turkey similar to this, and there were no instructions, no video or anything. It was just the picture, like somebody had screenshot it from somewhere. And I thought that was so cute, and I thought that I could make one like that. So I got busy. I looked around to see what I had, and I was going to try to make one using just stuff I had around the house. It was my goal to not spend a penny making this turkey, and I didn't. I used things that I just had lying around. And today we're going to show you how to do it. So you can see the body here is just a piece of wood, and I found this piece of wood in Joe's scrap wood bucket. And the neck and the face, head of the turkey is just another piece of wood that was in the scrap bucket. For the feathers, I used paint stirrers, and we had a whole bunch of those around the house. So I cut out all these pretty colored images from old magazines that I had, and I decoupaged them using Mod Podge to the paint stick. You can see on the back, paint sticks. First thing you do is you just Mod Podge the picture to the craft stick. I used the craft stick this time because I didn't have enough paint sticks to do another one with paint sticks. So I actually did go out and spend $1 and got some craft sticks for this. Right, so this is all Mod Podged to the craft stick, and it's completely dry. What you can also do, if you don't have magazines lying around or you just don't like that look, you can go to the dollar store and get some paper like this. It's got different colors and different,
oh, that's cool,
different images. You can go to any, get any paper really. You can go to Hobby Lobby. It's got a huge selection of pretty papers, and use whatever you like. It's up to you. So these are some of the sticks that I did in that paper. Just to give you an idea of what that would look like if you wanted to use pretty papers instead of magazine cuttings. Okay, so we're going to Mod Podge just this one just to give you an idea of how to do it. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to Mod Podge. You basically just brush it's glue is what it is. You brush the glue onto the stick. I like to use I like to go a little bit heavy with it because I like the wrinkles and bumps. I feel like that adds to the aged, distressed look. Some people want their things like nice and smooth. They don't want any wrinkles or bumps in their decoupage. Then you wouldn't put as much on. But I kind of just like put a lot on. All right, so you just get the Mod Podge on the stick. Then you take your magazine clipping or your pretty paper or whatever you're going to use. And I just do this, rub it in. Okay. I kind of bend around the edges there just so it doesn't move around while you're working with it. You kind of know where, with this color, it doesn't really matter because it's not a pattern, but if you had a pattern and you wanted it straight up the middle, then I just like fold at the edges there just so I know. And see all those beautiful little, I don't know if you can even see them, those little ridges? I love that look. See them? There they are. That's the look I'm going for. Okay, so once that's stuck down, you just take your paintbrush, you dip in, and you go over the top.
Over the top?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I like matte Mod Podge. When I made my first turkey, I didn't have any matte. I was out of the matte, and I did have some glossy Mod Podge. So that's what I used to make the first turkey. So his feathers are a little bit glossier. I prefer the matte, but you use whatever you have or whatever you prefer. All right, and that's it. That's how you Mod Podge the feather. And then you just let that dry. And like I said, once it's dry, you sand off the edge. And
you don't wipe that off?
No, you just let it dry.
Cool.
Yeah. I use these little wax sheets so they don't get stuck to anything. That's what all these wax sheets are about, just so the Mod Podge doesn't stick them down to my craft bench. These are the paper cuttings that I did from the magazines, and you can cut out any image that you think is pretty or anything that's interesting, or you can do a theme. You can do all orange paint, pictures, or all blue pictures, or all flowers, all food. It's up to you. Be creative. If 10,000 people make this turkey, they're all going to look completely different because you're using things that you had around the house and you're using your own imagination. So nobody's turkey is going to look exactly the same. So these are some of the sticks that I did in that paper, just to give you an idea of what that would look like if you wanted to use pretty papers instead of magazine cuttings. So after you've Mod Podged your sticks and they're completely dry, we have to clean up the edges. And I tried cutting around the edge and it didn't give me a neat look. So what I found, the easiest thing to use is a little scrap piece of sandpaper. That's what I use.
What grade is it?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what grit it is. This one happens to be, I don't know. It doesn't even say. This one's kind of gritty, but it really doesn't matter because the only thing you're going to do then is you're just going to sand the edge like that. Until you can pull the excess paper off.
That's very clever.
Right? Okay. And this one's obviously not done, but you'll just sand all around it until it's smooth. Okay, and here are some that I've already done. So these are all Mod Podged and they've dried, and I've sanded the edges so that they're all smooth. These have already been done. Okay. These are larger because I'm planning on using another large piece of wood to make a big turkey for you guys. But if you had a little piece of wood and you wanted to make a little turkey, you could absolutely do that. The only thing you'd have to do is maybe cut your craft sticks in half. And then, you know, you could make a whole turkey family. You could make little turkeys and big turkeys and any kind of turkeys you want. Okay, so the next step, these are all done. Like I said, they're done, they're sanded, but they look too new. I like everything to look old. I want everything in my house to look like it's old. I don't like new, shiny things. I like vintage, stuff like that. So what we're going to do to give it that look, hopefully you can see it here on the edges of the leaves, we're just going to darken the edges with some stain. We have wood stain. We didn't have to buy it. Most people have some kind of wood stain or something like that in their workrooms or garages. If you didn't have stain, if you didn't have any kind of stain and you wanted to give it this dark look, you could certainly use, I got a splinter. You could certainly use paint, maybe just put a little bit dark paint on there and then wipe it off. Or you could use a Sharpie even if you wanted to. But just to give the edges a little bit of darkness to give it that vintage look. You know, I want this to look like it's been sitting around forever. That's the look I like. I thought I was pretty clever with the back of it too, because we had this piece. My husband repaired our screen door in our screen room. There was the bottom of it had started to rot, so he had to repair it. He took out the whole piece that was rotten and replaced it. And this was one of the dowels that was holding the two pieces together. So it was in the scrap bucket, and I thought this is a perfect way to make a stand for it so it'll stand up so you don't have to prop it against anything. But if you don't have one of these, which you probably won't, because I'm surprised I had one, you could just use a little hunk of wood there on the back and glue it on, and that'll help it to stand up. And this is all just put together, just so you know, this is all just put together with wood glue. That's how I attached it all. If you think there's a better way, let me know. So we've moved over to Joe's workshop to do the next part of this. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna take the paint sticks that we just decoupaged. They're all dry, they've been sanded, and we're going to darken the edges with some wood stain. So I just use one of these little foam brushes, and this is the same brush that I used to make the last turkey. So you just dip your little brush into the wood stain, and then you're just going to go around the edges with it, just to darken up those edges. That's all you're doing. And if the stain starts to bleed underneath the paper, that's fine. That's just going to make it look even older. Really can't do anything wrong. There's no mistakes. Okay, and once the stain is on there, I just use an old rag or something to kind of wipe off the extra. You don't need a ton of stain there, so just wipe that off. There it is. Now you can see
That's
that the
really
edges are really nice and dark.
Looks antique.
Yeah, it makes it look a little bit vintage. It gives it that vintage look. So it's not just brand spanking new. Okay, so we're going to do that to all of our decoupaged feathers, and then we're going to let them dry. They don't take long to dry because you wiped off the extra, so they don't take long at all to dry. So they'll be dry in no time. So we're going to do that to all of our feathers. I used 9. If you like a fuller look, you can certainly use more. But I used 9 for my turkey. I went through Joe's scrap bucket. He's got a bucket, like a Home Depot bucket, with this scrap pieces of wood that he saves probably just for me, because I'm always digging through it to find pieces for different things, different crafty things. And I found this piece, which is just would have either been burned or discarded. And I think it's, what do you call this?
3/4 inch plywood.
Yeah, 3/4 inch plywood. It absolutely doesn't have to be 3/4 inch plywood. This is just what we have. Like I said, everybody's is going to be different based on what you have. Okay, and then I found this piece that we are going to use for the turkey's neck and face. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean up these edges. So you can either use a sanding tool like this, you know, just to clean it up. We don't need it perfect because we like the vintage look. We like the distressed look. So, well, I do. I mean, if you like it perfect, absolutely do it perfect, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to give it a quick sand around all the edges. We also have this here sander, which is really loud, so I'm not going to turn that on right now, but you can use this if you have one of these. You can use just a regular sander. You should definitely wear safety glasses when you sand, because I just got all kinds of sawdust in my eyes and it wasn't comfortable. So definitely don't do what I did. Be safe. Wear safety glasses. Okay, so this is our chunk of wood, all sanded nice, and it's still not old looking enough for me. It's still not distressed enough. So what I'm going to do is, I will show you. Be right back. So I think I'm going to use this beige color this time. And I'm just going to lightly brush on some paint. Not a lot. I'm going to do the sides. So that's what it looks like. Once this dries, I am going to sand down just around the edges again a little bit, and I am going to use a little bit of that dark stain. This is the piece of wood that I chose to do the turkey face and neck, so I'm going to give that a little bit of color too. So now we're just going to have to let these dry. These will take a few minutes to dry, not too long though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish staining all of these, and when all the paint's dry and we're ready for the next step, we'll be back. I love how you can make things look old that were brand new. Okay, so this is what it looked like before. Dirty old yucky piece of wood. And this is what it looks like now. Beautifully aged, distressed piece of wood. And I think there's enough difference between the two pieces that you can tell that there are two pieces there. So the larger piece of wood is the body, obviously, and this smaller piece is the neck and the head. So what I use to assemble it is wood glue. And I just have to put on a couple pieces at a time with the wood glue, clamp them, let them dry, and then come back and do more. So it's like, it takes a little bit of patience. You don't want to rush it because you want everything to dry. The way I assembled it, my last one, is I put one feather here, straight up, and then one out each way, like that. I mean, I could, actually I think I will cut these down a little bit just to make it easier to glue them onto the back. And they're really easy to cut, these sticks, with just a regular pair of scissors. All right, so this is the way they need to stick, evenly, obviously. And whatever you have to do to make them stick like this, that's what you should do. I'm going to cut them down because it's too bulky back here now, so it's going to be hard for them to stick. So I'm going to cut them down a little bit. All right, so wood glue on here, like that, and stick. And then we're going to look and see. So that's about how high I'm going to do them. If you want taller feathers, that's fine, or shorter feathers, whatever you like. But I think that's how I'm going to do this one. All right, so glue it on with the wood glue. And then I take a little clamp and clamp it until the glue is dry-ish. And just make sure it's straight. That looks pretty straight. Sometimes when you stick the clamp on, it moves a little bit. So just kind of wiggle it around until you get it on there straight. And that's not straight, so we're going to move it a bit. All right, so there it is. Clamped on in place. Just kind of eyeball it. And another clamp. And that's not right, but it doesn't matter. As long as it's clamped, it's fine. Just it down a bit. Okay, and then the next one. We're going to do the top one first, and then the two most bottom ones go next. And then the rest is just kind of filling in. Okay, another little clamp. Clamp it on, check to see if it's straight enough. And we're going to leave this for a few minutes with the 3 feathers on to dry a bit. Doesn't take wood glue long to dry at all, so 10-15 minutes we'll come back and it should be dry enough that the feathers don't fall off when you remove the clamps. And then we'll put on a few more. Okay, so we're back over here in my craft room. We have the leaves drying onto the turkey body over in Joe's workroom. So we came back over here just to put the face on the turkey. Okay, so we're just going to Mod Podge. I cut out this yellow beak just out of paper, and then I cut out this gobbler. Going to tell me what that really is called because I still don't know. I cut out that little gobbler. We're going to decoupage it right to the wood. So we're going to decoupage the whole thing just to give it a consistent sheen. So just do that. And that. And it dries clear, don't forget. So okay, we have that on there. That's our start. Okay, touch it down in place. And then we're just going to decoupage the whole thing. And obviously it doesn't need to be, the wood itself doesn't need to be decoupaged, but just to give the entire piece a consistent sheen, we'll do the whole thing. Okay, so that's going to dry. That's our Mod Podged, decoupaged turkey beak and gobbler. Once that's all dry, I don't know if you can see the eyes on this one. All I did was made a little tiny circle with black permanent marker, and then I put a little tiny white dot with a white paint pen in the middle for the little shadow, whatever that is. So we're going to give that a few minutes to dry. We want it to be really dry because we're going to draw the little eyes on, so we need it to be dry up there by the eyes. And we have 2 more feathers that we have to affix to the turkey body over in Joe's workroom. This would literally take 10 minutes to make if we didn't have to let things dry in between. That's really the longest part. But I mean, we've been at it for what? I mean, a couple hours. We stopped to eat dinner, so it really doesn't take long at all. And that's it. So we'll see you back here in a couple of minutes. Okay, so we're back, and our turkey face is dry. The Mod Podge is all nice and dry now. So we're just going to go ahead and draw the eyes on. 2 black dots with 2 white dots in the middle. That's as easy as the eyes are. Okay. So I have a permanent marker, Sharpie, and I'm just going to draw 2 circles right above the beak. Can't get much simpler than that. And you can use whatever paint you have. We happen to have this white paint pen, so I'm just going to put 2 little white dots, 1 little white dot in the center of each eye. And that's his silly face. That's his face done. We hope you guys are enjoying our videos. We started this YouTube channel a little while ago after we bought a camper because we thought it would be nice to, basically the main reason we started making these YouTube videos was just to document our experiences so that we'll have them. You know, our grandchildren someday can sit and watch and be a part of our adventures in their own way. And now it's November. Our camper is packed up and put away for the winter. We live in New England, so it's really cold. It was, I think, 22 degrees here this morning. And so we're trying to find other things. I mean, we always do fun things, but we're trying to find other videos to make, to add to the YouTube channel so that it's just not all about campers and campgrounds. We thought stuff like this would be fun. Our macaroni and cheese video. I mean, everybody always wants Joe's macaroni and cheese recipe. So if you haven't seen the macaroni and cheese video, go watch it and you won't be sorry. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to our channel. If you don't like our videos, I'm sorry, but if you can't say something nice, don't say anything else. But yeah, we would love you to like our videos. We would love you to subscribe to our videos. We don't post a billion videos. We post about 1 a week, so we're not going to overwhelm you with all kinds of videos. But if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and then hopefully we'll have more videos that you will enjoy. Okay, you know what? I cut these little bits off of the feathers, and I've used them to stick in between just to add a little bit of extra glue surface. I will stick some shims in there just to make it more secure. I don't know if you can see inside there, but they're kind of sticking up away from the turkey. That's perfect. Those little braces are going to be perfect. You can get it. Go. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Let's check it out. Look at that. Couldn't be any better. Could not be more perfect. And then when we stick the face on and the bow, we'll have turkey. All right, we need to let this dry just for a little bit. Let those feathers adhere really well. And then we'll unclamp it. We'll attach the face. We'll attach the bow, and we will be done. Okay, so we're going to try and tie the turkey's bow around his whole neck like this because for some reason he wasn't wanting a straight bow the other way. So we just wrapped it around his neck, and hopefully this will work. Well, it's better than the other way. I don't know if it's going to be tight enough. We're just going to do that. That is fine. So I'm going to cut that, and that's his bow. Okay, now we're going to glue him to the front of the body. I'm just going to slather glue all over him up to there. Okay. And that
super cute
is going to be our turkey. Everything should dry pretty quickly, and we have another member of our turkey family. And have fun with it. And we really hope you like our videos. We're just having fun. We're not claiming to be professionals. We're not.
That's for sure.
We're not videographers. We're not actors or actresses. You know, we're just having fun, and we're hoping that you're having fun with us. Okay, so here we are with the finished product. This is the one that we made today together. This is the one that I had made previously. And we followed the same technique for both of them, and they're both completely different, which I love. I love that they're completely different, but super easy. And I hope everybody decides to make one. I think they're adorable. And we hope you like this video, and we'll see you again soon.